Good things, like how to avoid a Thargoid shutdown field. Always have a rebuy. And don't forget your limpets. But what he really showed me was a good gun in the right hand can win any fight. It doesn't matter what you're wearing, doesn't matter who you are. The best tool wins out every time. Don't take a risk, take the best. Kinematics. The Kinematic L6 will destroy anything on foot. High explosive, high damage, the only way to remove a target. Load up, lock on, take them out, and say goodbye. Make those bodies pile up just like Dad.
Listen here, ladies. While your man is out and about bringing home the bacon, you need to make sure you look your best, which is why we present to you our Lady Shave. It's small enough to fit into your dainty lady hands and releases a perfumed scent as you cut away that ghastly body hair.
Listen here, ladies. Say no to substandard shaving. At Saracen, we believe a woman deserves a shave as good as a man's. Introducing the Panther Clipper for women. Gone are the days of your unruly body hair making you look like a bedraggled alpaca. The Panther Clipper is the biggest, baddest shaver credits can buy. And now, it's available in pink. A shave so smooth you'll need a tighter Dominator suit. The new Panther Clipper Lady Shave from Saracen. It's exactly what you've been asking for. In pink.
welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
And the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous.
and the fantastic
Community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from an orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place,
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 443 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix Defire, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar for this episode, we do have our Staff Liaison Officer, Commander Psykit. What was that? I forgot what was that. All I got was a high-pitched squeak. It's like
Yeah,
other than
that's
the chip shop.
probably me. Sure. Occasionally, I make feminine kind of noises.
Are we
Hi, I'm
introducing
here.
ourselves with noises tonight? Are we going abstract?
Yeah. Fuck it. What's the worst that could happen?
I've obviously gone northern because I said Alvin in the chip shop instead of Alvin and the Chipmunks. But thankfully, no one picked up on that.
It's a good job that you didn't stop everything and then point it out as well, because now we can gloss over it like it never happened.
Exactly, smooth as butter. We also have our SRV Banksy, Commander Alec Turner. What's that?
I thought we were doing strange noises to introduce ourselves.
Oh,
Good evening, everyone.
somehow here comes a bus. Let's throw the host underneath it. Yes. Right. Also, Ben at the moment can't connect to us. Apparently, he's got bad internet up in Aberdeen. So, stepping into the breach, in more ways than one, we have the Chris Mark IV.
I've
Hi, Chris.
rided in on my noble steed. Hiya.
So we've got an E, an U, and a ba. Right, okay. Right, if you wish, you can join us live. We are hanging out in game somewhere. I'm assuming that Chris is also hanging out in game. Yes, he's doing everything. He is the Lave Radio Swiss Army knife at the moment. So yes, you can join us in the Twitch chat channel. If you can't get to us in game, that's where you find us. You can access that through laveradio.com/live. Click on live chat, or just go straight to twitch.tv/laveradio, or go to YouTube, or go to Twitter. Are we still on Twitter? Is Twitter still working?
Yeah, it still works. It's still a thing.
Still a thing, right? Fair
Get
enough.
all our best input.
Well, okay. Well, let's have a quick chat with the crew, see what they've been up to for the last week. Commander Psykit, how have you been?
Hi, I've been good, thank you. I may have mentioned or hinted ever so slightly last week that I was going to go and see Muse over the weekend. So my weekend, I took some time off from work and stuff. Had a nice couple of days with the husband and the dog, going for picnics in this bloody glorious weather that we've been having. And then on Saturday, travelled down to go and see Muse play in Plymouth, and it was absolutely mind-bogglingly phenomenal. They were supported by Royal Blood, who have been trending on Twitter at the moment because they had a little bit of a hissy fit in Radio 1's big weekend on Sunday. Which I find really funny because I don't think they were particularly good. But apparently, their song was a song by Royal Blood was used with the announcement trailer for Elite Dangerous. It was some Royal Blood, and I watched them live. I didn't think they were particularly good on Saturday, but Muse were phenomenal. It was legitimately. I have now seen every act I have ever wanted to see live. Now, going forward, any new act that I see live is just a bonus. So I feel really fortunate in that way. The only sort of like dampener on it at all in the slightest was like listeners of this podcast, never ever go and see a show in Plymouth, because that council who organised all of that transport to and from this is a stadium show in Plymouth, I should add. The council who organised all of that transport to and from the football stadium couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery. It was one of the most atrocious things that I've ever experienced as far as organisation is concerned. If Muse had been even slightly worse, it would have made the whole event really flat, but Muse were phenomenal, so it only put a slight dampener on it. For example, Muse finished at 10:30 and we had a park and ride from to the stadium, because you couldn't park at the stadium apparently, but people were parking at the stadium, but you couldn't park at the stadium, so they'd arrange park and rides from all different parts of the building of the city. And for the park and ride back, Muse finished at 10:30 and we didn't get onto the bus to take us to the car until midnight, and that is fucking horrendous.
Ouch.
So and it was just like there was no indication for anyone where to go. We were queuing in total for over 3 hours, and that's wild. We missed the first support act in its entirety, and we got there 2 hours before the gates opened.
Sounds like pure madness.
Yeah.
Absolute hysteria. If I was there, I'd be worried that time was running out.
Amazing.
I'm surprised there wasn't an uprising.
Amazing. Keep going. Give me some more. Give me one more.
Well, I would have had butterflies and hurricanes.
Incredible. And that's like almost every album was nodded to then. I am proud of you, Alec, entirely. Yeah, but that was the only thing. But they were fantastic. It was life-changing, and I will never be the same again. Hey, how was your guys' weekend?
I was up a mountain.
Nice. I've done nothing in game as well. I logged out on Wednesday and just left my computer behind. So
yeah, we need to chill out or change the scene from time to time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alec, what have you been up to?
Yeah, quiet week really on the whole. Except Friday was my 29th wedding anniversary. I never forget, because about 5 years ago, I spent my wife and son were away actually, and I spent one of my wedding anniversaries flying to Sagittarius A for the first time. I spent 15 hours sat in this chair flying to Sagittarius A about 6 years ago. And ever since, my Asp Explorer is called the wedding anniversary, and the ship ID is May 28, written in big letters on the side. So
you never forget.
Correct. We didn't do much, but we had a nice day. We went to the most awesome chocolate shop in Wendover. So it does, I mean, just something simple, like if you get a hot chocolate, it comes with all the trimmings. It comes with like an extra little boat of cream, and it comes with a chocolate sculpture on top, and handmade, like homemade marshmallows, and everything is just stunning. And we bought ourselves a big selection box of their chocolates, which we're working through, and are possibly the nicest chocolates I've ever had. That was out of game. In game, I've sort of moved from the Maelstrom, and have been doing the new AX settlement restore missions, and they're a bloody good laugh, actually.
Cool.
They're funny. I mean, I go from thinking they're easy, because when it works, they are easy, and then suddenly they go badly wrong, and then they're suddenly not easy at all. Um, you know what I mean? They really flip flop between
Mm-hmm.
those two extremes. When they work, you just walk in and you just sort of basically run around the back of the buildings, so you don't get too close to the revenants, and you just go to the power thing and you do the power thing, and then you find a computer and you work out where you're supposed to get the thing, and you get the thing, and then you walk away again. And then what I've been really enjoying, actually, the way I've been doing them. So I did ask around about how close you could park your SRV, because if you can park your SRV close, then you've got an easy getaway.
Yeah.
And it's not really a distance thing. I've had it blown up a kilometre away. One thing I discovered. Sorry, I'm going on a bit now, but it's quite interesting. I was talking about basically giving the revenants a run for their money and getting them to chase me and seeing how far I could kite them in the SRV. But they don't chase you at all. I'm not sure they leave their rails. They have their little route that they follow. They don't seem to really want to move outside. They go up sometimes a little bit, but they don't really want to stray from the base. But boy, their lasers have long range. So unless you can find some terrain to hide behind, or a drop off or something, where you can hide behind the curve of the landscape, the range of their lasers seems fairly infinite if you're in an SRV. So what I've been really enjoying is scouting around the base in a big circle in the SRV to try and find a weak spot where you can then drive in and basically drive right up to the outside wall and park the SRV by the outside wall as a getaway vehicle. And I really enjoy doing that, because they do seem to favour, the revenants do seem to favour a particular direction. I get a definite sense that you can come in behind them, that they all seem to be looking the other way, and if you can find the right direction, you can basically drive up and park behind the wall. They're really good fun.
What you really need is a distraction technique. You blow something up, or the equivalent of "Oi, Thargoid, look over there," and they all look over there, and
Yeah.
then and while they're going, "What's he on about?" Then you can sneak around the back.
I tell you what, it'd be a good fun mission to do as a big team, like about 8 of you, and just have one person be the decoy, and then 7 SRVs will come bombing in from the other direction. That'd be great.
I think we've got a volunteer. I think we've got a new job for Ben. Really, professional
revenant decoy.
Yes, that's what he's going to be doing next. I think. I mean, it's part of health and safety. He's keeping our health and safety intact by sacrificing his own.
That's fair.
Yeah, very fair, I think. Anyway, well, let's see. As I said, the previous week Ben had been to Castleton. This week it was my turn to go to Castleton, which is this wonderful little village in the centre of the Peak District with a massive hill next to it that you can climb up. And yes, I climbed up it. That was yes, that was a reminder that I should really exercise more. I didn't have a heart attack on the way up, but I just felt like it. And yeah, and mind you, the kids were complaining just as much as I was. So so that's what I did in real life. In virtual life, I've got addicted to using the VR headset a lot in Elite Dangerous now. Now that it's so easy.
I watched your top shift. It's a very cool looking. Well, cool's a subjective word, but yeah, it's a cool looking headset.
Yeah. It just basically looks like a massive pair of Buggles glasses from Video Killed the Radio Star, and yeah, and the images inside it is really good as well. But I've now decided that whenever I'm doing anything which is vehicle based in Elite Dangerous, I am wearing the VR headset. If I'm doing an on foot mission, then yeah, I can go flat screen with that. But if I'm like this week, I have been doing exclusively the CG, and I think I have missed trucking because I have done nothing but shoot bugs since November. And don't get me wrong, I do enjoy shooting bugs. I really do enjoy shooting bugs. But for some reason, it needs... I just need, I don't know, a palate cleanser. So I've been in the T9. I've been flying from point A to point B, trying to get in the 25%, so that I don't have to do any daft gathering of stuff for when we get this pulse scanner thing, whatever the new scanner is. So
whatever, like, oh, if only we knew, if only we had some kind of indication what it would be.
Can you please just call it a Titan scanner and not try and use Frontier's ridiculous naming convention for these, because they're just getting really stupid now.
yeah, Commander Sekharov says it needs googly eyes. Apparently, the problem is that headset, the front of it, it uses that as the little cameras in there, so it works out where you are, so you don't have the massive stations that will tell the headset where it is. So if I put googly eyes on the front of it, it would probably screw up the headset, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing, and a T9 in a VR headset is you don't get the scale of the bridge until you're sat in it with the VR headset, and you suddenly realise this is a lot bigger than I was thinking.
I must say, when I used to do, I don't use the VR very much these days. I should get myself a new headset that's less faff to set up. But where I loved doing it was exactly that sort of thing. If I was doing trade, stuff where you don't need outside tools, you know exactly what you're doing. You're going to do the same thing. You're just going to sit down for an hour, 2 hours, and just truck, happily truck backwards and forwards. You've got all the tools to hand that you need. You don't need to consult anything outside. I just love doing that. When I was doing things like rep grind for Empire or Fed, and you're just going backwards and forwards in VR. Really nice to do. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing I did do though. I decided to have an experiment in my T9 to go into open round Rab where the the CG is, just to work out how long I'd last before I got griefed. And I can officially say it's 4 minutes and 38 seconds. So, and even then, that was because when I did get interdicted, the guy who was facing me off or interdicted me just lined up, and I didn't shoot him, but he didn't shoot me at the beginning. And he just got this feeling like he was sat there going, what's he doing? Is he waiting on someone? I'm just waiting to see whether they don't fire. 2 shots of frag cannon later, I was space dust. But yeah, you don't last long, especially if you're in a ship that can't do it.
I haven't done this CG. What's the super cruise time like? If you're trucking, if you've got quite a long super cruise?
No, it's a 21 light second.
Oh, okay.
It's 31 light second. So basically, the any griefers will have to be actually quite quick off the mark to get hold of you. If
what
you did,
you spend 4 minutes doing then?
Flying around waiting to be interdicted
with a target on your tail, going, interdict me, please.
No, but it was pretty much that, because basically I launched, and I swear I was just flying gently around the planet, just happily dawdling, and I was watching all these fer-de-lances and pythons and things like that, and going, okay, which one's it going to be? Which one of these people are going to come round and claim the kill? And yes, so I will always recommend that you fly in a private group if you don't want to have to deal with that kind of interdictiveness. There's a new word. Aggressive interdictiveness. There you go. So, development news. What have they said this week? Not much, to be honest. And we'll probably touch on what they did have to say later.
We need a cricket soundboard for this point, don't we?
Yeah, we do, because I think this is the point where, what is it? 2 weeks after almost 3 weeks after the release, and 2 weeks after the No, it's not even 2 weeks. It's a week after the last stream. We've kind of run out of things to really talk about as far as development news is concerned. So I guess we just wait until the next one, unless something else happens in the next week or so. So moving on from the development news, we have a lot of community news. So let's have a quick check up with the community. We have Canon they have a guide to getting your name in the codex. I've missed this one. Alec, do you know about it?
No.
Oh, please tell me,
Then,
Ben.
because it wasn't me. Let's have a look at it. I've not got there yet. Let's have a look.
Hiya, it was me. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. This was me. This was my contribution. Apologies. I kind of assumed that other people would have spotted it as well. But basically, it is a guide to a bit of exobiology and how to get your name in the codex if you discover like a new type. It's all the different areas of the galaxy and where certain things may be found, but obviously not the specific planets for you to go and find different types of biologicals. It is very sciencey and goes into a lot of detail that I maybe did not quite understand and could do with a shorter copy that goes, "Hey, idiot, do this," because it's very canon. It goes into a lot of detail. So if you're into your exobiology, you will probably understand a lot more of it than I do. But it basically explains how to use a lot of different plugins in order to do your exobiology. And I know that there's been a few posts on sort of Reddit and things like that this week about people exobiology to make lots of money.
Yes, you make huge amounts of money now
doing
exobiology.
Yeah, so this isn't just about making money. This also means you get your name in the codex for the rest of history. So there you go.
Is that the point of this fairly? I just had a quick glance, and it does have canon written all over it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
literally as well as figuratively. But is the end goal to get your name in the codex?
Yes. Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's so that you get your name in the codex, because it's not just that you've got to do a new discovery of a new plant. It's got to be like an entire new sort of subspecies thing for it to end up in the codex.
Gotcha.
So this is why it goes into slightly more detail than just find a plant that hasn't been scanned before. This is find an entire subspecies of plant that's never been discovered before, and therefore you get your name immortalized in Elite Dangerous history.
I have had a little skim over it and seeing the phrase how not to go insane looking for an Odyssey biocodex entry ? No data available. Just screams canon to me. It's perfect. Yes, that sounds right. That sounds accurate. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean there are so many subspecies of the main groups that it is quite phenomenal. Yeah, at the moment when looking at the canon map, it looks like I am probably in the area where there's about between 44 and 149, just in the center bottom of the map. And yeah, there's no way that you can get all of them just by going to one sector. It's
It is good exobiology, isn't it? I have to hold my hand up and say it's way better than I originally thought. I remember when it came out and they talked about specific numbers of species and subspecies, and I remember just thinking, why the hell didn't they procedurally generate? You know, it seemed like they'd put about 20 in instead of procedurally generating thousands. But as time goes on, well, years now, and I still see on Twitch pictures of plants that I've never seen before, and I just think, what the hell's that? It's brilliant. It's really...
The problem is the ones that I see on Twitter, they all seem to be quite phallic, or very biological. Maybe that's because people then, oh, look what I found. It looks a bit rude.
I will confess, I spent far too long trying to get a slightly suggestive photo of a plant this week, which didn't quite work out. Maybe I'll post that in as a show note suggestion image.
Yeah, so we need people to go looking for the space rude plants rather, because we could have a That's Life section, because in the old days they had That's Life where people would have great hilarity when they'd send in pictures of a carrot that looked like a thingy.
Indeed.
And Psychic is going, what the heck was that? It's well before my time.
What? That's Life?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Carrot section.
I definitely saw that show. Jesus. No, I lie. I'm 21.
You know, you pay someone a backhanded compliment and they just tromp all over it. I don't know. Anyway.
It's still bloody Ransom, wasn't it? And what's the other one? Who was the other guy who did it? There was a guy, Michael Aspel. Did he do that? I don't know. Now I'm going on a tangent.
No, he did. Good grief. No, he didn't. It's just been Esther Ransom all the way. But let's move on before we go off on one again. Now, you've seen EDDN, EDSM, EDDB, and EDDI, and now it's to showcase this EDEB, the Exploration Buddy. That is release 1.2 is out now. Again, this helps with searching for various things in Odyssey and beyond. And it's got lots of customizable colors and things like that. It's
I threw this in. I'd never heard of it before. Haven't had a time to play with it yet, but it looks pretty cool. It's yet another one of these things that's using your journal and it's telling you information about the system you've just honked, and it's telling you about the bodies in the system and the biological value of the bodies. And I think you can run it on a second monitor or maybe a tablet. Or if you don't have one of those, then it's got a really nice looking transparent overlay that will pop up over the top of your windowless game. So yeah, I might give this one a go because it looks very nicely laid out.
Yeah, it does look very, very professionally done.
Yeah, I think you can customize color schemes and things. If you've customized your HUD, you can customize this to match, and yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, so that would be from Commander Panostrede, I think. It's an attempt. Everybody take a drink, just assume I've got it wrong. Right. And Turgeon's Travels from Turgeon, who's one of the members of the broadcast. He has featured some extraordinary ED-themed machinima. See if I can get my teeth in for that one. And a story that has sucked me in and he's eager for part 2 now. This is To Catch a Thief Part 1. Turgeon Travels has been in production for, oh good grief, how many years now? Must be 7 or 8.
Yeah, a very, very long time. I remember when Odyssey dropped, or when it was released, I remember him saying that he had plans to do a lot more work on sort of mouth lip syncing and stuff. And has anyone seen this? It is extraordinary. The lip syncing is incredible. I don't know how you even begin to make stuff like this. There's a bit where the people are just having full dialogue and the mouths are just perfectly animated, and then he spins around in his captain's chair, and we all know our chairs don't spin round. It's like in cockpit footage, except suddenly he'll spin round in the chair and our chairs don't do that. So God, I have no idea how you even begin to do stuff like that.
Oh, a lot of time with Blender, I would imagine.
Yeah, but it's really good. And like I said, it's about 20 minutes, half an hour. And I'm completely sucked into the storyline now. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, apparently his fellow broadcast member, Scorpius, he's working on a mega video at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see what that one will show off.
Brilliant.
Yes. So we're moving on from there. There's been a new update for the Odyssey Materials Helper that'll show you what your best options are for trading materials.
Yeah. This is mine. Effectively, it makes ED Engineer entirely useless. You can uninstall it from your PC. I'm no longer friends with ED Engineer. Me and ED Odyssey Materials Helper are best friends now. If you now hover over the item that you need, it gives you suggested trades for it, which is the one thing that it was missing. It now has. So very, very happy about that. Can't wait to use that in the future, and I'm very happy to free up space on my tiny Windows SSD.
I might have to finally get this because now I'm doing these AX settlement restore missions.
Oh,
two things have happened. One, I am picking up lots of materials from lockers, more than I used to, and I'm fully aware that some of them are junk, but I have no idea which ones, so I'm just scarfing everything, and that I should probably be doing a lot better. And the other thing is, for the first time possibly ever, I have a real desire in my on-foot equipment. I really want to G4 at least, maybe G5, my rocket launcher, so I can one-shot revenants.
Oh, nice.
Because apparently you can. If you get really lucky, you can one-shot a revenant with a G3, which I managed to pick up for free from a Pioneer Trader, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's not very reliable, so I would really like to G4 it now so that I can one-shot them, because it's bloody good fun, actually.
Yeah, I mean, Psykit recommended the Odyssey Materials Helper to me, and to tell you the truth, ever since I've installed it, I can't do without it. I
It's
really
amazing.
can't.
It's amazing. So it's one of those things where they just it continues getting updated, and that we stan a thing that continues to get updated by this wonderful community. It is continually getting updated. The other thing that it is doing, which I think is amazing, is it's like anytime there's feedback, it's like automatically reacting to that and making sure that we have the right things. The point at something, and the thing that you can do where you can point at an item and it'll tell you whether or not it's on your list. The little overlay that pops up when you're in the data thing, and it tells you whether or not you need it, or if they used it all in materials and that kind of thing. Absolute godsend. The new thing with the trading, incredible that they've done that. I'm so like chuffed with that thing, and it links to ED Shipyard as well, which I would love to continue using Coriolis, but again, we love something that updates, and Coriolis doesn't.
Very true. Very true. Please remember that there is a donate button somewhere on ED
yes.
Materials Helper. If you are enjoying it, please click that donate button, because I know with EDDB, that was one of the reasons why that one went dark. So, yes, if you come across a good tool, please support it. Support your tool.
Indeed.
Easy.
There's a donate button on Inara as well. Who knew?
Yes. Yeah, appreciate your tools. So, moving on from there, we have the Anti-Club Accord, or the ACA. Now, this is a growing confederation of allied squadrons who are banding together to resist the club and their puppet factions. The ACA also operates a militia for independent commanders who wish to participate but are not part of a confederated squadron called the Independent Pilots Resistance, or TIPPER. The club exposed on Twitter, if the federal election was held tomorrow, who would you vote for? And LC, you fools election campaign, seems to be winning by a short margin over Felicia Winters. So yes, vote fool.
I threw this in there. There's a lot going on in this one. Not much of which I actually know about. So this ACA thing popped up in the forum. I don't know. I quite like it when players have little initiatives. I mean, our Psykit had a very popular initiative. This one seems to mention a few sort of note that they've got signatories, which caught my eye. So people like Children of Raxler and the Dark Wheel Squadron, and a bunch of people I've sort of heard of seem to have signed up to it. So it may be more than a. I think even Galnet News Digest might have covered it, actually. Now I look at the forum page, and then it also ties in with a Twitter account who did this Twitter sort of poll on this election campaign, and I keep seeing these vote fool posters. Does anyone know the background of this?
It's LCU being LCU.
Right. He's faked up these in-game screenshots so well. I started to doubt my sanity and was wondering if they were actually in-game.
I feel like that's his main intention with everything that he does, is to make people just question how sane they are.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it succeeded. Well done. Thank you.
Yeah, because I'm half expecting to see those kind of posters actually in federal stations now. It's getting a bit worrisome.
Yeah.
Oh dear. And breaking news. The High Week, 20 minutes ago, has just dropped a new video. Yes.
Right. Let's put the show on pause for 20 minutes and we'll just go and watch it.
It is really good. It is really good. I gave it a sneaky watch a minute ago, and it's very, very good.
Yeah, we just don't get a chance. Yeah. So, has anybody got any other community news that they would like to highlight or have heard about? Because let's just say, because there hasn't been much in the way of development stuff, it's the community carrying the game again.
There's a new bucketball race coming eventually.
Oh, goody! Which one's this one?
Let me very hurriedly bring up the calendar. Yes, so, oh gosh, it's not far off at all. 10th of June, this one starts. This is being run by Commander Sker, who is one of our top 2 racers, so gives the rest of us a chance to get on the podium. Hooray! And it's called Tunnel-ish Vision. So this is a reworking of one of my old races. I did a race called Tunnel Vision, where you had to go through, some of the installations, like the one at Sand 2 and places like that, have tunnels that you can fly through.
Yes, I remember.
So I did a race where you got the mandatory component was to visit, I think, 4 such installations and fly through the tunnel.
Yes.
Any tunnel you liked. But if you went through a second tunnel, you got something like a 10-second bonus, and a third tunnel, you got another 10-second, and a fourth tunnel. So basically, everyone that was trying to win just flew through 4 tunnels.
Tunnel after tunnel, yeah.
Yeah, so lots of flying through tunnels. Well, I believe Sker is taking the theme, but he's finding lots of other things for us to fly through. I don't know much about it, but I can't wait.
Yeah, so does that mean that we'll be flying through a lot of planetary port tunnels?
That seems likely, doesn't it? That seems like that would be one.
Although I don't think the regulation Cobra can fit through.
This may well, for anyone that's trying to do this championship in something like a cutter, you may well be scuppered by this race, I'm afraid. But by all means, try.
Unless, of course, you could sort of land your ship, drive through, and on an SRV, and then pick yourself up again.
I think that might be allowed, and maybe also deploy a ship launch fighter to do space tunnels.
That would be even better, wouldn't it? A ship launch
I
fighter.
might have to contact Sker and suggest that we allow that, because you're not going to win doing that. So yeah, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, because that was one of the things I've actually launched. Flying the T9 this week, I've had occasions to deploy the ship launch fighter to defend the ship, and I'd forgotten how much fun those things are to fly. And you just don't care, because it's a ship launch fighter, and it's going to blow up. So it's kamikazing into the bad guys, and you don't care. Fantastic. So yeah. So I think we'll have a little advert break, if that's okay, and we'll come back with the in-game events next.
New from Azimuth Biotech, it's Tickle Me Thargoid. Tickle Me Thargoid is fun for all the family. Teach your little anti-Xeno commander the difference between an Orthrus and a Cyclops, a Basilisk and a Medusa.
Count the hearts. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a Cyclops.
Teach them their weakness and how to exploit them.
Now rip out the hearts. One by one.
I don't want to.
Do it. Using the tool. Do it. Now stomp on its face. Smash its face in.
I've got them.
Tickle Me Thargoid. Available now from branches of Lave Toy Depot and other retailers.
Hey Commanders, this is Mick from Crazy Mick's Reptile Emporium and Warehouse. Due to a hysterical ordering mishap and not reading the fine print, I'm currently in possession of over 10,000 snakes. Many of which are deadly, so everything must go. We have anacondas, asps, cobras, diamondbacks, fodlants, keelback, kraits, mambas, pythons, sidewinders and vipers, none of which are capable of spaceflight without being strapped to a rocket. Need a pet for your cockpit? Buy a snake. Need to scare your mother-in-law and give her a heart attack for the insurance money? Buy a snake. Need to fill a beluga full of snakes to assassinate a witness on their way to a Federation courthouse? Buy many snakes. Bulk discounts are available at Crazy Mix Reptile Emporium and Warehouse. You can find us in the Lave Business Directory or visit us at the former site of Sensible Michael's Shipyard and Outfitting Warehouse. Will somebody get these mother snakes out of my mother warehouse?
Well, the Chris Mark IV has just dropped a bombshell off air, and we can't let this go. What was this about a Star Wars cocktail bar in Edinburgh?
Yeah, there's a pop-up. So there's a place called the Cocktail Geeks who do different themed cocktail nights across the year. They've got about 4 or 5 different themes that they do a year. So at the moment, they're on Star Wars. So it was a Star Wars themed cocktail. So you can go along and drink the infamous blue milk. And you can you do a quiz and it'll tell you what your lightsaber color is, and then you get a cocktail in the color of that lightsaber, which is the reason that that came up in the discussion that we were having. But yeah, it's very cool. It's just near Waverley Station if anyone happens to be in Edinburgh, and you can book and you can go along to that. We are totally not sponsored by the cocktail bar, but I will take free tickets if someone's listening.
Unless asterisk.
Unless ... But yeah, and the next one I've been told, the next theme is The Last of Us. Is what they're going to be doing next. So it's going to be lots of mushrooms and fermented stuff going into the cocktails for the next one. That was when I was speaking to the guy.
Brilliant. I was just looking at the website. Yes, indeed. The Last of Us.
So, lots of dead zombie brains, fungus brains even. Or is that a spoiler? Because they're not really zombies, are they?
I don't know if it's a spoiler. It's been out for years.
I know my kids haven't heard of it, and now my daughter's decided to hack away at my son with a lightsaber. This is getting interesting. I should have actually had the camera all up and.
Right, so you could edit the effects over it later and the noises.
Yeah. Well, my son ended up spending 30 quid on a custom lightsaber, and he just won't shut up about it. Anyway. Let's move on. The in-game events. What has been happening this week? Well, on the 25th of May, we had the launch of the CG that I was talking about earlier. Materials are required for a Titan research project. Well, this is the Titan scanner that Alec was referring to. Yes, you need polymers, you need ceramics, you need a couple of other elements that they're all to be dropped off at RAB. It has at the moment passed stage 1 as far as the trade CG is concerned. So we're all going to get them next week, but it took a bit of a while because it only got past stage 1 on Sunday night. So it's been a slow one.
Yeah, I was quite surprised. Was it low attended, or had they just set the bar high?
A bit of both, actually. Go on.
I imagine part of it will likely be because they were out already when the CG started.
Yes.
So that might have not really incentivized people to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, and they've left it in as well, which means that everybody that's had the new scanner has been able to access parts of the Titan that other people can't reach yet. So we're not going to actually cover those because obviously I think it'll only be fair to spoil that stuff when it's been spoiled, if you see what I mean.
Just like out of curiosity, did either of you log in and go and buy one?
No.
Oh, no. Like any of you, that is, because I didn't. No. I was like not logged into my computer for a few days when it was all there. But
I would have done. I didn't because it was quite a short window, and I just missed it. And then I read about it and thought, oh damn, I could have got one this morning, but I'd already logged out and I was at work. And I don't think I would have done. Frankly, it's pathetic really, but I'm sort of too honest, and I thought, well, it's obviously an exploit, we're obviously not supposed to have it, they're obviously going to take them back again, so I wouldn't have bothered. And then when I read they weren't going to take them back, I was a bit pissed off, to be honest, but hey ho.
I mean, it's absolutely same, totally understand why they didn't. Because I just think it would have been far too much hassle just to give them back. Now if it comes out that when they do get them, we have to pay for them with materials and stuff rather than paying for them with cash, then I will be pissed.
Yeah, that was my opinion, but it can't. I mean, two big reasons. One, why would it have been available for cash? If it was an unlock, it would have been an unlock. And also, all the other things in the same category are all cash. In fact, somebody pointed out, was it Loose Screws? Can't remember. A rumor that everything by Aegis is cash. Is it Aegis?
Aegis, yeah. This one is.
Yeah, I don't think they have any material unlocks. Anyway, that's subjective.
No, because the caustic sinks were material unlocks.
Oh, was that Aegis? Okay, so
yeah, that's Aegis.
But anyway, the enhanced Xeno scanner was cash, and this is just another one of those kind of things. So it seems highly unlikely it will be an unlock.
I hope not.
And the outrage will be.
Yeah, I think if it was, it potentially not going to be anymore.
Yeah.
That would be tabled for me right now. If it were me making those decisions, I would be like, yeah, no, we given the fact that people were able to just buy them outright, we're gonna have to table that for everyone.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's an unfortunate mistake. I wish they'd been able to whip them away from people who had bought them and refunded it. But yeah, it's out now. People have been scanning the Titan with it. I look forward to being able to scan it myself when I get when I get hold of one.
Yeah,
but no spoilers from Lave Radio, I'm afraid. There'll be plenty of that next week.
Far too late.
Yeah, because we're far too lazy. Yes. Well, on Monday, the Vox came out with a summary of the Thargoid War, including the discovery of the new Titans. Of course, it was the usual journalism that you can expect from them. And then today, on the 30th, Hadrian Duval has decided to stir the pot again. Just when you thought the Empire was being, relatively stable or just tootling along while the Federation decided to rip itself apart with an election, it's decided that no, he's going to have a go at the Emperor. Yes, and that's you just get the feeling that he's just stirring the pot a little.
In classic Hadrian Augustus Duval, please look at me, I am still relevant news. He's decided to take a pop on Orisa. And also Aisling, who was like his biggest champion a while ago, which to me says what a prick.
Well, wasn't she the one who was like, I want you to be back in the fold, effectively, because he was. Yeah, because basically, what was happening to him was that he was being targeted by the Marlinist faction, weren't they? And they were trying to kill as many royal family members as possible. So the People's Princess decided, no, we've got to get him inside the court as well. Otherwise, we're going to lose another Duval. And
well, never mind.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting that someone has been whispering something in his ears, and I reckon, and he's now decided it's time to start stirring the spot. The spot. Yeah. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the Galnet news for this week. I think it's that time of the week again where we go for a store alert.
Store alert!
In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art.
welcome back. And yes, we have the Metro Trespass Pack for your commander who wants to look like someone who's cycling to work in a very smoggy Manchester day. In winter.
So it's a COVID costume.
Yeah. the face mask and all that kind of stuff. And it's for 16,520 arcs. What do you think?
There's
Do we have
another
a
one,
fush
isn't
in it?
there? And don't you, Chris, have one? Have the other style of it?
Yes, so there's another sort of Metro Trespass. It's like Trespass Metro or something like that, which I can't remember the name of now. You've put me on the spot. I put it in the chat
I'm
the
so
other day.
sorry.
It's like a Metro Trespass. Hang on. If I can get it on the actual doodad. Hang on. There we go. It's that one.
Metro something or other.
It's Metro something or other. So it's a slightly different Badlands. There we go. Metro Badlands.
Okay.
That's what it is. Is the other one. So it's sort of a similar sort of outfit with the jacket and the hoodie and stuff, but it's a different face mask and things.
Oh, it's the one. It's the one with all the camouflagey on the jacket, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's the different color camouflage jackets, and then you get a kind of undershirt bit with it, and then the suit and bits like that as well. I'm not describing it very well for the radio audience. There'll be pictures in the show notes.
I like the black one, which literally has a red target painted on your chest.
Yeah, that's in the new ones, isn't it?
That's the Batman trick, because that's where all the armor is the thickest. So you're always aiming at there, you see, and ignoring people going for the headshot. That's the theory.
You would just shoot there. Yeah, I see it now. That's very clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, target painted on its back as well. That's the question on my mind.
Yeah, this does look like COVID cycle courier man. It does, but yeah, it's. I could see myself actually getting that, to be honest. I think. Just I haven't bought one of these commander packs for a year, so I might be overdue one. I think.
Is that? Oh, maybe not. It seems like quite a lot of money. That's the same price as the new ship kits, isn't it?
Yeah, they're quite involved though, because it's 3 different outfits, and you can chop and change between each one for 3 different suits as well. So you get a fair amount of, like, if you really really like them, you get a fair amount of wear out of them.
Yeah, a lot of mix and match.
Yeah, so you can pick the sort of helmets or the scarf elements and all that sort of stuff in and out, and all the add-ons, the pockets and bits that attach to the sides. It all sort of comes as part of it. So
yeah. Nice. Is the Steam sale still on at the moment?
I don't believe so.
I thought it was to the end of May, but obviously, because Steam Sale and Humble Bundle were both doing special offers on Odyssey, which ironically would cost you less than probably one of these packs. I think.
Yeah, there's not a sale on Steam anymore.
Ah, right. So we missed that one. Although I did get Deliver of the Moon and Deliver of the Mars in the Steam sale this time. So
they're very good. I would definitely recommend playing them.
I will be working my way through them once I've got Mass Effect Andromeda out the way, because it was only £4. I thought I'd give it a try for £4, and actually I'm quite enjoying it. So there's a surprise. Okay, I think we'll take a break, and we'll come back with our main discussion for this week.
Welcome to the bubble. 55,000 stars with 19,000 inhabited systems, settlements, outposts, stations, and bases. Where do you want to go? What do you want to see? Well, we can take you there. If you're too poor to own a spaceship, Apex Interstellar. What are you waiting for? No, is this thing finished? Get out of my way.
Before I also went off and died.
Tasty cannibalism.
I'll be the least likely to die. He died first.
Yeah, I've never before discovered plants.
We here at the Lavian Centre of Dubious Science have had enough of those idiotic numbskulls polluting your airwaves with nonsensical utterations, mindless articulations, and downright vacuousness. Our premier linguistic experts, psychologists and scientists have collaborated for years to find the perfect antidote for such silliness, and are proud to present Professor Pebcap's Miracle Elixir. Our closely guarded recipe is designed to target the sensibility triggers nestled within the frontal lobe of the cerebrum and gently caress the cerebellum, meaning that clumsiness, terrible decision-making, lewd comments, and rare but fun rants are a thing of the past. Place one drop under the tongue when you wake up and one just before sleep, and settle into an elevated state of practicality that's more suited to the responsible commander. Professor Pebcap's Miracle Elixir. We've not tested it yet, but we're sure it'll do the job just fine.
Have you been affected by Azimuth Biotech's provocation of the Thargoid menace? At Turner and Fig, we're ready to pursue claims against Azimuth Biotech as part of our class action lawsuit.
My son has started worshipping the Thargoid god and keeps bringing home human sacrifices. Am I entitled to compensation?
Yes, you are.
My daughter was aboard the Bright Sentinel. I keep calling Azimuth to find out where she is, but I always get their voicemail.
Thank you for calling Azimuth Biotech. We're sorry, but
Salvation
is not available. Please leave your message after the tone.
Am I entitled to compensation?
Yes, you are.
I was selling escape pod occupants into slavery, but now Thargoids keep taking the escape pods instead. Am I entitled to compensation?
I suppose so. Thousands, maybe millions of people are due compensation from Azimuth Biotech. Contact us today. Turner and Fig, cleaning out Azimuth Biotech for a huge portion of your compensation.
And welcome back. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a break from the Thargoid War because we have been discussing the Thargoid War for how many months now? About 5 or 6?
200.
five or six, near enough. So we thought we'd go back to a little bit of Lave Radio old school. And this will probably be open to the chat room as well if you want to make a suggestion. We are going to discuss our favourite mission types, whether it's in space or on foot, and which ones would you like to try, but you're basically too chicken to try them out. Now, Psychic, you've gone through, I think, every single one.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a mission type that I haven't done. I'm trying to. I was when you talked about this being the topic earlier, I was thinking. I was trying to decide what my favorite type of mission was, and I find that really, really difficult. I definitely favor the Odyssey missions as opposed Odyssey missions as opposed to anything that you just end up doing in your spaceship. But I feel like that is still because they're a little bit newer, newer in every sense of the word. I really didn't think I would like the defend mission. You know, the really the time crunch ones where it's you've got to defend this package and there's people coming to attack it now.
Oh yeah, the really difficult one.
Yeah, I really didn't think I was going to enjoy that, and I love that mission type. I think it's so much fun and is really challenging, and I think that's probably why I really enjoy it, because it feels like a later game thing, if you will. But that's one that I will choose. If I see it, I will choose it, even if it might not be for the faction that I want to work for.
Is that the one where there's a MacGuffin on a trolley that you?
Yeah. And then you have waves of your enemy, the pirates, coming to get it. I haven't done the other way round one.
Where the police go in.
Where the police come and you then have to try and make bacon. I haven't done that one yet.
That's supposed to be good, isn't it? I haven't done it either, but don't they come down with flashing lights?
Yeah, they've got red and blue lights when they come down and
Yeah.
everything. I really need to do that one, but I'm very rarely picking a pirate faction to work for conscientiously.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Omnipol, aren't they supposed to be harder than the pirate one? So basically the pirate one is hard, but the Omnipol one is harder.
Oh,
from what I
probably.
understand.
I think so, yeah.
Probably. It's just one of those things that I haven't actively considered doing, because if I'm picking missions, normally I'm picking missions for someone who is actively fighting against SMS Biotech, or I'm picking a mission for my faction.
Yeah. Yeah. It's quite interesting, that one, because one of the things that we did, I mean, me, Ben, and the legendary Ralph tried that a couple of times. And we failed miserably every single time. Did you manage to solo it, Psychic?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Like if the mission taker, I don't know if it's still the same now, but when it was originally came out and you were doing it in groups, if the person who took the mission died, it would fail for everyone. I'm sorry I was so dismissive when I was like, yeah, I managed to do it. I've got good gear and I can manage to do it, and I can take the high ground and set people on fire. But it's a really fun. There's more to it than it just feels like it feels juicier. That's the word I'm looking for. It's like a juicy mission.
Yeah, definitely. Alec, what about yourself?
Yeah, I definitely no great surprise that I like SRV missions. I think I was thinking about why I like, I do like SRV. I suppose I like SRV missions because it feels a little bit like the whole package. And in fact, these AX settlement missions even more so. You fly there in your ship, and then you're landing, and then you're getting out in the SRV, and you have to do something in the SRV, and then if you're getting out on foot as well. I love that bringing together of all the different bits of the game. It's I was trying to think about what it is I do and don't like about missions. I probably am a bit of a coward actually when it comes to missions. I like missions I can do, and I suspect I tend to do far too many missions that actually I find easy. But I quite like doing them because I was one of the things I definitely don't like, and it's not necessarily a problem with this game, but it is a feature of this game, is that unlike many games, where you take a mission and you just do it,
Yeah.
here, first of all, if you want a certain kind of mission, like the mission we just described, where it's pirates trying to get the MacGuffin, and or the AX settlement restore missions I've been doing, you've got to do quite a lot of work just to find where to get them to start with. They only appear under certain BGS conditions, so you've got to do some research and poke around. So you could spend half an hour just finding a place where you can even get the mission you want to do.
Yeah.
And then you've got to, pick a mission. And if you're trying to find a settlement mission in the daylight, that takes a bit more time. And then you fly there. And so, you could be a good hour into your gaming session before you get into the meat of the mission. So if it fails, if it's on, I'm not a huge fan of the on-foot combat missions, because partly because I'm just not really good at them and I haven't really got the upgraded gear. They can go bad very quickly, and you've got sort of nearly an hour of prep, and then in 10 seconds flat, you're dead, and you just think, oh, well, that was fun. Not. But so I do tend to shy away from missions where I think I'm going to get killed, and I shouldn't. I should try more. But I tend to do so. The ones I tend to do, I used to love those scanning ones in the SRV where you just had to go to a base and scan a beacon and then get out again.
Yeah.
Partly because it just gave me an excuse to park a couple of kilometers away and then bomb around in the SRV for a reason rather than just for my own entertainment. And the only odd thing I was going to say about those missions is I remember I think it was Hutton, actually, a bunch of Hutton truckers released a video of them doing it as a coordinated thing. You know, where you're supposed to kind of scan all of there's about 5 things you can scan, and they each set off a little countdown timer, a bit like the
Yes.
Guardian site.
Mhm.
If you get them all, then it lowers the laser shields, then you can get in. And those missions are a bit of a shame because you sort of don't need to do any of that. You can just hop over the laser shield, and
Yeah.
so I think I would quite like those. I think I would really like those, except you sort of don't need to do them the way they were designed.
Yeah, I mean, there was, and I remember the Hutton truckers. They used to be quite good at doing those kind of coordinated attacks, where people they'd have a wing of 4 come in with their ships and a wing of 4 in SRVs, and they'd attack a single settlement in one go. And yeah, that it was spectacular to watch when it worked. There was a couple of times when, of course, the instancing got the better of them, but yeah, the way that you could take down a base had to be a coordinated effort, and I like that, but I don't think anybody knows really how to do it anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't do those anyway because there's generally I quite like doing missions by myself, to be honest. There's not many people
Those
around at 5 in the morning when I'm playing, but
those missions that you're talking about, the ones with the scanning the data point and stuff. I was trying to figure out what you were talking about having to go in your SRV then, because all I know is I shove my nose into the center of the space where the beacon is and just scan it from my ship. And I was trying to figure out where the SRV came into
right.
play.
Yeah, well, it seems a shame. I mean, actually, you raise a good point. It seems a shame that you can bypass SRV missions. And I'm going to have a crack at this name, but I'm going to get it wrong. Kochiti Kai, or Zochiti Kai in chat, said that we need SRV transport only missions. I would love that. I don't quite know how you enforce it, how you stop people just cheating and doing it in a ship.
You'd need a little deposit hole. Oh no, here we go. You need a little deposit hole like you do with the Guardian things, and when you're putting the Grelics and when you're putting the relics in to turn them into Grelics, you'd need like a little spot that you drive over and then poop them out into the hole from your SRV.
What about a little loading bay with a shutter on front? You know, so you've got to drive the SRV up to the shutter, and the shutter would open, and then you can get in, kind of thing.
Do you know what SRV only cargo
exists.
would do it? SRV.
That kind of docking station for SRVs already exists. That you can actually, I'm telling, and Alec knows this. I mean, you can undock your SRV and drive around bases while your ship is still docked in the on the landing pad. So
yeah.
I don't see why they could just drop one in and
put a little poop chute in that, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, you drop your cargo off in there.
Yeah, they could have SRV only cargo where you pick up. So when you drive into a garage, I think there's only one option normally, which is board ship.
Yes.
Whereas if you walk up to your SRV on foot, for example, you have board ship and you also have manage inventory. So trivial, I say. It seems like it's pretty trivial that could be 2 options. So you drive into a garage and it's board ship, or offload, download cargo. No, what's the word? Put cargo in SRV.
Deposit.
Yeah, that's it. That'll do. So yeah, you could have SRV only delivery missions where you have to drive, I don't know, 30 kilometers.
Absolutely, I think that's a really good idea.
I would love that. Bloody love that.
Like especially if, let's say, for example, there is a settlement that is a really awkward parking spot. So you'd have to park a little bit further away, and it's these settlements that are in the really weird, shitty parking spots where you can't you have to park a way back, and it's got no landing pads, but instead it does have a little SRV bay that you can drive into. Like, like the warehouse has got space for an SRV, hasn't it? One of the warehouses and the settlements have got space for an SRV. If that little doorway is up and you just pootle into there with your SRV and drop off the stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
that would be ideal for the Horizons style settlements that are still left over, because it would give there'd be a reason to visit them. Because most of those Horizon settlements, I mean, I've driven around them, and you can scan beacons which are around those settlements, which will give you, it will give you materials and it'll give you cash. But yeah, if they could just add this is one thing about those those Horizon settlements, and it just feels like they're so redundant now.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to go to them, because everybody is too busy with the Odyssey stuff, because the Odyssey stuff is a little bit more interesting. There's nothing really. Go on.
It does depend. Like if you're doing missions from, let's say you're doing missions purely for a BGS perspective, and you're wanting to get in and out as fast as possible, wham bam, thank you ma'am, get as much influence as you can. Those scanning missions, the ones on your ship, that you go in and you just go and scan the ones that I bypass the SLV and I just like shove my ship right into the center and scan them and then bugger off. They're pretty good and they're pretty speedy. So that is a reason to visit. And I mean, even if you do it properly with landing and getting out in your SLV, they're still pretty speedy, even if you decide to get out in your SLV. So that might be.
Yeah, I thought there was actually supposed to be ship defenses around those places, so that you couldn't do that.
There are, but I have shields.
Oh right, of course you've got big strong shields. That's the thing, isn't it?
You can plow the nose of a Corvette into there and get the data if you need to. I've done it multiple times.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, Alec, have you ever tried the shutdown power ones for using your SRV?
What do you mean? You mean the one where you need to take the power reactor out, the regulator out, rather than put it in? And
well, no, isn't there one where you go up to?
Where you go in and you have to blow up the generator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are good. I'd forgotten those. Yeah, those are really good.
Yeah, that's one thing that I forgot about that. I mean, I've done a couple of those, and it's a good way to to get used to getting shot out in an SRV.
Yeah, it is. Those are fun. And actually, you've just reminded me of another. Oh God, it's gone again. That's annoying. Nope, plow on. I'll come back to it.
What type is this? Shooting up the generators with your SRV?
What, you've never done one?
I'm trying to picture it.
Well, you see, yeah, there's a power generator that normally handles all the base defenses for those things, and you can get a mission to actually disable them. So basically, you drive into normally it's a very heavily fortified base. You drive in there, and you've got to get through all the defenses and the skimmers to get to the power. The power, and just blow it up. You don't do anything else, you just blow it up.
Yeah.
But then once that, all the ship defenses go down, and if you have any teammates in who are flying about, that's when they can come in and just basically level the place.
No, I have done those. I have. Not with an SRV again, but I have done those.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of psychic bypassing SRV missions in ships, another mission I really enjoy is bypassing what's probably supposed to be on foot missions in an SRV, which is the settlement massacres. I don't understand why you'd bother getting out on foot for those.
Because it's fun to shoot people in the face, Alec.
But
actually, I find it more fun to
shoot everyone in the SRV.
That's what you can.
I mean, I normally play a game called Punt the Pirate, which basically involves running over a pirate and seeing how far they just fly off into the distance.
It's fun. It's fun doing those on when you have to go and recover something, like recover a document, and it's or recover something from a crashed ship, and there's loads of folks around, like that we were protecting it, or pirates that have got there first, or some nonsense. But sometimes it's just the person on their own, and you're supposed to kill that one person, and they've ran away, and that they have, and it's annoying when it's a massacre mission, because if it's a massacre mission, it's wasted your opportunity to pick up a load of materials and kill a lot of people without any consequence. Or like there's a certain type of mission which you only get if it's a takedown, I believe, if it's a pirate faction.
Yeah.
So you can go over there and you can kill everyone with reckless abandon, and eventually you might find the person who you're contracted to kill. But sometimes they run away, so it's really fun to get in either get in an SRV and yeet them as far as possible, or just like ping them with the nose of your ship and send them into orbit. It's great fun.
You know, how great would it be if you had an assassination mission and your target jumps into an SRV and tries to make a getaway, and you have to chase him down in your SRV?
I would love that. I would absolutely love that. I think that would be so much fun.
We-
Or if you like commandeer someone else's SRV, they get into an SRV, and then you have to run after them and get into the SRV behind, and then you're just absolutely bollocking it across this hilly surface.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I did enjoy the ones where the target will run away. So me and Ben went after one just to find out whether or not it is possible to stop someone when they get to a ship, and well, to see the actual mechanic working. So we chased into this person and we shot them several times, but not enough to kill them. But they would still hang around, and as if one particular moment, I think it must be on a timer. They don't suddenly realize, oh, I'm very hurt here, maybe I should try and get away. It seems to say, I think I will wait 5 minutes, and if I'm still alive after 5 minutes, then I'll make a break for it. But they did run past us. They did run towards the ship. They got to the ship, and we worked out that as long as if you take down the ship, you still pass the mission. However, if as soon as that ship goes to Super Cruise, you've lost the mission. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
That particular one. I just like the fact that it used both foot and space at the same time.
Yeah. I remember being slightly disappointed when they explained that you couldn't sort of properly give chase to their ship in your ship, and use a wake scanner and.
Yeah, I mean that was quite disappointing.
But, once he jumps, it's mission over, isn't it? Once he jumps.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame.
I suppose the reason behind that would be if we lure it away. So you do it, you scan the high wake, it's jumped, but then you high wake again, and it high wakes again before you've even had an opportunity to jump to the first spot, and then you're fucked. You're definitely not going to be able to find it at that point. So it's probably easier to call it for for sanity's purpose, to call it to just be like, yeah, no, as soon as it jumps, you're never going to be able to get back on this guy's tail again.
Yeah, I mean that's the old way that they used it in Star Wars, where the Empire would never be able to track where the rebels went, because what the rebels would do would jump a small distance, then change direction and jump again. So where they were originally going to go, Star Destroyers would turn up there, but there'd be no rebels because they changed course halfway through. So yeah, I'd see that a lot of people just want you to recreate the Blues Brothers then, Alec.
Yeah, or there's a lot of Grand Theft SRV going on in chat as well.
Hell yeah. I'm all for commandeering someone, if commandeering someone else's SRV and using that to give chase. I think that's really a really fun idea.
Of course, the trouble is they don't. I mean, maybe nobody ever applied for the job, or maybe they just scrapped it. But some people will remember several years ago.
Yes, there was, wasn't
Frontier
there?
put an ad for an AI SRV coder. All words to that effect, and it never really materialized.
I wonder if it was just something that an AI couldn't navigate.
It's quite difficult.
Yeah, it's quite difficult to drive around. You make it look very easy, Alec.
Yeah, no, I do appreciate it. And to be honest, although I love the idea, I would find it very hard to tell Frontier what speed the SRV you need to chase should go at to make it a good mission. I mean, for me, it would need to be about 100 meters a second, and that would be brilliant.
That's so impossible for so many different people.
Yeah.
Anything that involves an SRV chase, for those of you who are super um proficient in land vehicles are never going to be happy for a happy medium for everyone.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
really difficult organising. We haven't done it for a long time now, but it's difficult organising SRV races because the diversity in people's ability is so wide that to get a race where everyone's up for 100-meter race, 100-kilometer race, and some people are thinking, Jesus, I've never driven more than 5. It's really hard to find a race that suits everybody. So it'd be very hard to pitch missions at that level, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem because it's like CQC. If you're a beginner at CQC at them and you want to get involved with it, the problem is all you're playing against are experts.
Yeah.
Who will basically chew you up and spit you out, and that can. Yeah, it can be off-putting for someone who's just wanting to start out. I need to learn how to. I'd like to learn how to fly one of these CQC fighters, but I'm not given the chance to because it's a case of boom. Oh, Musketeer got me again. Boom, Chig got me. Boom, Musketeer again. Boom, Chig. That's basically my last play session in CQC.
That's fundamentally a problem with the way that CQC is set up, though. And I will talk about this until the cows come home. I don't think you should have to start. You unlock things. I don't think you should have to unlock things through progress because it makes it easier for you as you continue the game, and it makes it harder for entry players, and that's so frustrating.
Yes, I think the good players should be restricted to the Sidewinder. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Okay. Well, let's see. Chris, you at the moment are running around the base at the moment. I mean, surely you've got a favourite and.
I mean, I keep going back to a lot of the settlement missions at the moment. I mean, I end up doing like quick massacres, if there's such a thing, where you run in and grab materials if you're looking to film. And I've quite enjoyed those missions, the on foot. I do quite a lot of the Odyssey content rather than the ship stuff, just because it's the new shiny. I think a bit like Psykit was saying earlier on. So I've liked doing a lot of the on foot missions. I have been scared off doing the protect the trailer missions, as I just don't think I'm good enough for that, as people will have seen any time that they've watched me attempt stuff on foot, that I am not the best. But that's probably one of the ones that I would be scared off of at the moment, is trying one of them. I've really enjoyed the assassin missions and anything that involves not setting the alarms off.
Really?
Because I think that adds an extra dimension to it. Like trying to get something done without setting off the alarms is quite a neat way of making it slightly more difficult. You know how Alec was talking earlier on about trying to come up with an SRV mission where you couldn't just get in a ship?
Yeah.
And that's kind of a similar mission where you've got to turn up at the place and you can't just fire a bunch of missiles at the ground and clear the settlement out. You've got to go in and sneak about without setting off the alarms. Now, normally it means killing a lot of people before you get to the alarms panel in as quick a time as possible. But I've quite enjoyed those missions. Basically anything where you've got to do a little bit of sneaky.
Nice. Actually, it's those kind of missions are the ones that I'm scared of, to be honest.
What, the little sneaky deaky missions?
Yeah, I'm scared of doing them.
What is it that scares you of them?
Because I'm absolutely rubbish at them.
But if they go wrong, if it goes tits up, you just shoot everyone. It's fine.
Yeah, but then don't you fail the mission because you set off the alarms and shot anybody?
It depends. It depends how far into it you get.
And you end up with notoriety.
Well, notoriety clears.
Yeah.
If you kill people quickly enough, they won't call in the alarm. So if you see a little bubble over someone's head indicating that they're calling the alarm, then that is the person that you shoot until they die from it. But then it's definitely, I would definitely recommend using quiz engines, the Odyssey site guide that he's done, which is phenomenal. And when you get to the base, learning where the alarms are in that base, and then the first thing that you do is beeline towards where that alarm is. Fingers crossed at that point you don't have anything on you that is calling out the fact that you're being sneaky deaky and being a little nefarious. But if somebody scans you, if you draw your weapons, and the first time someone scans you, they get so frustrated in you drawing your weapon and telling you to put it away that they forget that they haven't scanned you, so you can move on and it's fine.
Really?
Yeah,
Can you keep doing that?
No, it only works the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, they get wise to that once you start shooting the next person.
Everybody gets one, right?
Cool.
Lovely. I mean, yeah, I mean, I am, you know, the thing is, I think I'm scared of any mission that could probably end up with notoriety, because I don't like being a bad guy, I guess.
I've got 4 notoriety at the moment, Colin.
Yeah, I have a bit of that.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I've always had a problem with missions which break the law, if you see what I mean. And that's one of the things that I know I'm actually missing out on some really good gameplay, because apparently a lot of the law-breaking missions are actually quite fun.
Yeah, but I mean, if you choose not to, it's you're part of like your personal RP. I know, and like you're not going like all in on the RP or anything, but a little something like that keeps you like that helps with your immersion, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I know, but I think one of the things I'm going to have to do, because I'm quite I'm quite affectionate about the character, the first 2 characters I've got, but the third character the third commander who's my power play commander, I should really turn him into an absolute murder hobo. Not after players, well, unless you're in power play. But I reckon that as far as he's concerned, he is for the Empire, and he will go and screw up any Federation base or do any nasty mission towards the Federation he can. And I think that's probably, I'm going to have to try that, because I feel like I'm missing out on about half of the gameplay, if you see what I mean. There's a whole load of missions in space and a whole load of missions that I haven't done because basically I'm scared of being a bad guy.
I think you're going to be a bad guy and then you're going to quite like it. Is that the worry? This is the start of the dark path.
I'll get a taste for it.
As Hannibal Lecter once said.
Suddenly you just need to kill. You just need to kill them all.
That little Glaswegian voice in the head suddenly starts getting very loud. My inner Ouija's talking to me. No.
Like, then you're going to be going around trying to headbutt everyone, and we know what that's like.
Yeah, my sort of take on it, the reason that I like the alarm missions is because I find the sort of ones where you can set off the alarms a little bit easier, so I like to try and test myself now with that, but I've not quite got to the extent to test myself with the protection missions. Just because once you get a certain suit grade or whatnot, the alarms going off isn't as much of an impact unless you're failing a mission. And then,
Yeah, I mean, there are so many missions that I haven't done, and that is my fault, because basically I've looked at it and thought, no, I don't want that. That sounds like it's a bad thing to do. And for example, for ages I didn't want to have anything to do with raiding megaships, but when you actually when you actually do it, there's to scan the megaship and then basically steal some data from it. That's actually quite fun.
Yeah.
And then there's also the actual steal the thing from the hatch breakers. Again, a lot more fun.
One of the good things about those missions is that you get to see a lot of detail in the game that I think you would just miss otherwise. You know, like the hatch breakers, the way they, especially if you get up close, the way it works, and it literally little hatch literally pops open, and all these canisters come pouring out, and there's a little cargo bay in there, and it's fantastic. And isn't there one where you have to repair fires on mega ships?
I haven't seen that one. I know there's one where there are megaship rescue missions where they've left this in from the very first time, and I didn't even know they existed until Obsidian Ant pointed them out. But there are certain megaships which have been attacked by Thargoids, and there are Thargoids still hanging about. And what you have to do is that you've actually got to get in close to the megaship and pop the escape hatches and scoop as many escape capsules as possible before Mr. Thargoid gets angry and comes after you. And those are really, really good.
They sound great. Does anyone know if there's a list of all the missions somewhere?
Every single mission there is. Actually, that is one thing I have never seen in one of the third-party tools.
I was going to say, it feels like the sort of thing a fan would have created on the forum or Reddit or somewhere. It'd be really good because I wouldn't mind trying to pick them all off. And
yeah.
To be able to definitively say I've done one of every kind of mission would be
I've not done any of that with the mega ship that you were just describing. So I'm going to have to try that at some point with the hatch breakers. I've not done it.
Looking at New Pilots Initiative website seems to have a lot of them.
Right.
Yeah, it certainly looks like they do. I will definitely include a link to that in both chat and in the show notes.
Excellent, because that's the kind of thing that I was looking for. Because I was going to actually start rerunning Top Shift again, but this time actually going through each of the missions and trying them until I actually succeed. Because there'll be some that I've never done them before, and you are going to fail, and you're going to get notoriety. But yeah, I think after this next bit in the Thargoid War, that's what my next. When you set yourself a goal in Elite Dangerous just to keep yourself going, that's what my goals be. I'm gonna sample every single mission and pass every one.
I feel like that's a really cool goal.
Yeah, I could easily get into doing that myself. I was just reading down this new pilots list. It's great, actually. I've just remembered the worst mission in the game.
Oh, what's that?
The least interesting mission in the entire game. Donate money. Summary. Give money to the faction.
No, I don't donate money is an absolute godsend during elections.
Expected time for this mission, 30 seconds.
If that.
Yeah, but the thing about those donate money missions is that normally they're chained. First of all, you'll end up with a donate money, and you hand over cash. Yeah. And then next time you visit, there'll be a message saying, by the way, because you donated cash this time, we actually found this thing that we need you to rescue, or this thing that you need to assassinate.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we've all done these donate money missions. That they're basically, a way to buy rep.
Absolutely, they are. Or influence.
Indeed, yes.
I think the New Pilots Initiative ones. I can't see any Odyssey missions. Yeah, I might be missing it, but I might get in touch with them and see if they've got some although going back and revisiting like Horizons and Beyond missions is quite cool. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking through that. You begin to get an idea of how complex the mission system is, because there are so many to choose from. But the problem that I've had, and I'm quite sure that one of the problems that it's been apparent, is that once you start doing a particular mission that you're good at, you keep on doing it until you burn out on them.
Yeah, you do get locked into it. It's very true.
And I think that is. I mean, when you look at the variety here, I've been playing a lot of Privateer 2, The Darkening, lately, mostly on my old laptop, and each one of those missions is handcrafted, and you can tell. And there's about 120 of them, and after a while, you know that they've kind of run out of ideas. But these missions, because of the variety that they are, especially when you start getting chains, I think the most I've had is just 2 chains. I don't think. Can you get a 3rd chain mission? Has anybody ever got a 3rd chain mission?
I believe, but possibly. Don't know for certain.
But you know, I would love it if they could chain more missions, if you like. But yeah, it just feels like there's an awful lot more variety than the hand coded versions that there were before.
Just I was just doing some research on the megaship repair thing I was talking about. It seems from a quick Google search like it's not a mission, it's just a scenario type. Where you end up at a megaship and it has hull breaches that it needs repairing with repair limpets.
Yeah, because there's an awful lot of these scenarios that we miss out on. I mean, especially with installations, because
don't go there.
Yeah, a vast majority of the time, every time I visit an installation, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening at all. And it would be nice if, yeah, you did get alerts every now and again to say, oh, by the way, the installation at X point in this system is suffering an incident. Can you please investigate? It's there if you want to investigate it. And it's the same with the capital ships. But getting involved in a CZ when a capital ship comes in is a phenomenal experience. But it happens so rarely that a lot of people miss out on them. And it scares the living daylight. The funniest thing that I saw, I remember first time I saw this happen, basically I was in a wing and the other pilot over the comms just basically came out with a huge amount of expletives because he'd never seen the thing appear. I mean, we're kind of used to it now with fleet carriers, but for the first time when that happens, yes, it's brown flight suit time.
That's kind of like stuff with the fleet carrier appearing and or like the mega ships appearing for fights and stuff is why I would always recommend, if there's a war CG and you fancy getting involved in that, because normally 9 times out of 10 there is either the Federation or the Empire are involved, and if you sidle into a high do maybe 3 or 4 highs, I guarantee you, high CZs, I guarantee you that you will get a mega ship at one point if there's a Fed or Empire faction involved.
Yeah. I mean, there was a website that actually told you, and it was monitoring every single war that was happening in the BGS at the time, and whether or not there was a chance that you'd end up with capital ships appearing in the CZs, or those capital ships appearing in the NC in the non-signal sources. So yeah. I don't know what's happened to that one now. I'll have to now look it up. I'm sure it was somewhere. But yeah. So I think we've gone around everybody on the crew. I think after this next step in the Thargoid War, I'll be starting off with some of the easy ones and then moving on to more of the hard ones. And I think it is. You're going to have to watch me doing bad things through gritted teeth, going. I'm not a bad guy. I'm just doing it for science.
Just say sorry after each kill.
If you get a spreadsheet of all the different mission types that you're going to work through and tick them off, let me have a copy. Just I really fancy doing that as well.
Yeah, same. I was gonna say what we will do is probably Thursday or Friday this week. I will pop this question on Twitter as well, and we'll have this as a question of the week, because I'm really interested to see what everybody who's listening thinks. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah. I'll probably get only about 5 missions in and go, I can't do this anymore.
Well, I've just been told categorically that Katie Anna is already working on a spreadsheet which includes every single mission type.
Yes,
So
please.
Well done. It's nice to inspire someone to do something like that. Right. Okay. Let's move on from there for the moment. Right. Mostly clueless. Alec, do you have stuff about glaive avoidance for everybody?
I do. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's a sort of tip. It's not definitive, but there's been a lot of discussion around the forums and things on. I'm sure we've all suffered glaive hyperdictions and interdictions on our way to these
Yeah.
AX settlement restore missions, and they're bloody frustrating. I actually lost a ship the other day to one. I just could not get away from the damn thing. It just kept shutting down my FSD, and then there's quite a long cooldown, and yeah, I just couldn't get away. It was really frustrating. I'd stacked, I'd foolishly stacked 3 AX settlement restore missions as well, so I just failed the logs. Very annoying. But there has been some, science is too strong a word maybe, but there has been some speculation on ways to avoid them. And this might be confirmation bias, but I feel like this works. So what I've been doing is literally the second you get control of your ship after either the hyperdiction or interdiction, hit silent running instantly and boost and a heatsink, and then this is a bit counterintuitive, but it seems to be a thing. Don't boost again. So basically, one boost to get some distance between you.
Yeah.
Maybe flight assist off, so you drift afterwards, I suppose, and a very, very quick silent running. And it's almost like you can quickly jump yourself out of the sort of area where they can detect you. And then they seem to sort of be a bit lost and not quite know where you are. I mean, I haven't really looked behind me to double check what they're doing. But I've had maybe 3 or 4 AX settlement restore missions in a row now where I've done that. And I've got away without they've spotted me eventually.
Yeah.
But only towards the end of my FSD cooldown period, and not enough time to fire their missile, which knocks it out. So there's something around that. There's something around silent running and boost once, and
that sounds very familiar to what happened to me in the very first time I went into the Maelstrom. Two Thargoid interceptors and a glaive came after me after I accidentally bumped one of the heat vents there, and basically I boosted away and hit silent running, and then hid behind an asteroid, and the glaive and the interceptors just didn't seem to care.
You know what I've been wanting to try, and this was sparked by, I think Psychic made this comparison last week or the week before about it being a bit like Jurassic Park, that if you don't move, they can't see you. I wondered if there was genuinely something in this. I haven't had the nerve to try it yet, but what I've been meaning to try is next time I'm interdicted or hyperdicted by a glaive, is to hit silent running and do nothing. Just sit there.
Shit! I need to. Yeah, I have literally. I don't
don't move.
I feel like I haven't played since last. I think I played on Wednesday, and then haven't really done anything else, and that wasn't anywhere near Thargoid space. So, yeah.
How cool would it be if that worked, and you just have to sit there face to face, not moving until your FSD cooldown?
That reminds me so many submarine movies.
Right.
Yeah, but it's so cool.
Oh, I'm not saying it isn't. I was just thinking it just reminds me of it.
And it's so different to other things that it's recommended that you do as well. Everything else is just like get the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah, I love it that we're all just boosting like mad, and that's the worst thing you could possibly do. That would be really funny.
Yeah, but then again, that's one of the ways that in cartoon trope and cartoon hero tropes, it's always the one that says, "No, we don't fight. We've got to put down our weapons when these massive, big angry things are coming towards you," and then they find out it works.
I can see it on the Next Frontier live stream. Like Arthur will be just holding a brake pedal and just sort of fiddling with the brake pedal while he.
I mean, it's the sound if you do that, though. If you're sitting in a ship all quiet and not moving without the engines moving, but you can just hear The Fargoids lurking around. Yeah.
Maybe like the next, if it turns out that is the case, maybe the next thing from Aegis is going to be the upgraded silent running machine or something like that, the upgraded self EMP, so you can chuck yourself into full darkness so they can't see you.
That'd be a cool one. It reminds me of one of the things that my characters do in the Sanctimonious stories. Whenever they go into silent running, everybody starts whispering. And they go, "Why are we whispering? It just goes on heat."
Because everything is very quiet.
Anyway, moving on from there, any other business? Well, surprisingly enough, there was something good on the Epic Store this week. I know I've ordered this. This is Fallout New Vegas, which has been it's one of the Fallout games that people just say, "Oh, forget all the others. This one's one of the best." I haven't played it yet. I'm just told that.
I've never played a Fallout game. I would not be able to confirm.
Yeah, Fallout 3 was Fallout 1 and 2 were really good for sort of isometric role-playing games, but when Fallout 3 came out and it was first person, everybody just went, "Oh, that's really good." And then, of course, there's that kind of thing with Skyrim and well, I think Oblivion came before Fallout, but the first person thing, the first person approach to this kind of role-playing game really suited it. So I would recommend it. It's free. Give it a try. See if you like it. Psychic, you have other business?
I do. Hi. This is a personal message from me, Claire, to Frontier. Hi, and to everyone. Hey, it's nearly June. Do you know what happens in June? Pride Month. Do you know why that's really important? Hey, resident Lavian queer here. It's Pride Month. Can we have some? Hi, Frontier. Hi, Frontier friends. Can you do me some pride skins? Thanks. If you don't want a pride skin, don't use it. I want a pride skin. Where can we have pride skins for ships, please? Thank you.
There we have it. Yeah. I mean, everyone would like to fly about with a rainbow, wouldn't they?
Man, I'm like the gay will come right out of me.
Oh dear. Right, moving on from there. We have good grief, the show notes decided to go on a funny one with me. We have the question of the week. Now, the question of the week was a bit rushed this time. We do apologise, but we still got plenty of responses. The question was, what's beyond the yellow goo in the Titan?
Yeah, I paraphrased that. I'm sorry. It could have been longer.
It could have been. What is the consistency of the custard? But Little Begin is straight in there. He just goes straight with pain. Lots and lots of pain.
Valid.
It probably will be quite painful. LCU no fool like one. It's cheese fondue. A deep sense of shame that Gnosis avian cheese attracted them here to add to its uniqueness to the melting pot. I just thought Gnosis avian cheese.
There's an inappropriate amount of cheese answers in there this week.
We will add your cheese to our own. Resistance is futile.
Oh dear. That's no battle state. No, that's no moon. It's a battle. Oh, never mind. Forget that one. It's funnier when I screw it up.
Mad fail. Amazing.
Yeah, roll 1 on the 20 dice. Yes, there we go. Dr. Pinzo. Once we pass through the Thargoid pus pit, it's the fantastic voyage all the way to the heart. That's fantastic. The Thargoid pus pit.
Oh, I love the idea of going all fantastic voyage on the Titan. That's amazing.
It'd be the name of a club in a Thargoid bar, wouldn't it? The Thargoid pus pit.
Oh man.
A hive of scum and well, that's just lots of scum, really.
Bernardo, please. It says butternut squash, but it won't let me taste it.
Just give it a lick, yeah.
Jump Drive Flyer. It's a gateway that will transport you halfway across the galaxy to the Thargoid staging post. That's quite a popular one, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I hope it's not, actually, but...
No, I'm hoping that we go... Oh, I don't want to say this because basically it just sounds gross, but I hope we squidge inside the Thargoid.
I'm picturing...
Put yourself in, it'll be fine.
I don't know why this image just popped into my head, but the idea that it's a jump gate to a Thargoid staging post. I'm picturing that scene in... It was one of the remastered Star Wars films. Might even have been the original episode 4. 4. where Han Solo goes legging off down a corridor in the Death Star with his gun in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And he they remastered it so he turns a corner and there's an entire garrison of stormtroopers. And then the next thing you see is him coming and legging it back again at the same speed. I like the idea of commanders going through the yellow hole and then being confronted by about 50 Thargoid interceptors and going, nope. Turning around and straight back out again.
Like Homer Simpsoning it back into the goo.
Mark Gamer 1 says it's the space between space. Either that or a big vat of lemon curd. Not the sweet stuff, the really sharp curd. The stuff only known as the teeth dryer.
It's just the most sour curd that you've ever tasted.
Commander Team Man Boy 1, Forbidden Fondue.
Fondue's popular.
Trevor, we finally found it. The Thargussi.
I hate that. I hate it so much. I'd much rather have it referred to as an anus. I'm not going to lie.
That's just wrong. I mean, technically there's nothing wrong with it. It just sounds wrong. Well done, Trevor. You've hit a new low. Happy Moon Monkey. Oh, no, he's showing his age here. It's the fondue scene from Asterix in Switzerland, where you get all covered in cheese, but if you lose your crouton, you'll be beaten and thrown out into the lake with weights. I've forgotten that those things existed.
I'm not sure I even get that reference. I'm aware of Asterix.
Yeah, I'm kind of like you, Alec. I'm like, yeah. No, that makes sense in that Asterix is a thing. Don't know anything else about it.
Oh, yeah. It's the way they portray orgies in Asterix is basically by people just feeding themselves silly.
Okay.
Okay.
I wondered where you were going to go with this children's book.
Yeah, well, no, they mentioned orgies in the children's book. An orgy is going to happen. So for between the ages of 7 to about 13, I just thought orgies were basically this thing where a lot of people eat a lot of food.
And you're telling me that they're not?
Okay, fair enough. If I wouldn't want to break your innocence. Some people get their
rocks up in incredibly different ways.
So what happened when you invited people round for a large amount of food? Did they turn up expecting? No, okay, carry on.
Why is Mr. Smithers in the gimp outfit then? He seems to be like leather, doesn't he? I thought he was just around here for fondue. Oh dear. Ephesus said Raxela. Lots of guys enjoying desserts with lots of custard. We can see the kind of the food theme that seems to be
moist
happening.
And it's yellow.
In Weeble, it's the Transgalactic Cheese Shop. And Karamba, if it's anything less than Witch Space, then Riot. So it was a good selection, if a bit squidgy.
Yeah.
Cheese themed.
I don't know. I think if it is a gate, I would like it to be a gate through to Witch Space rather than somewhere that we could just fly to, but for some reason there's a Pilots Federation permit lock there. Because the Thargoids don't put the permit locks in. Exactly. The PFED do.
Yeah.
So if it was going to send us somewhere, it would need to send us somewhere that we couldn't go of our own fruition, you know?
Yeah, definitely. You end up stuck in the middle of the C-70 sector where you can't even get out.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Oh yes, people are saying, "Oh, let's all head to." It sends us out in the middle of Barnard Loop, and we can't get home. Oh, that would be.
I absolutely would not be having. I would not have a fuel scoop. I would be fucked.
Yeah, I think we all would be at that point.
And then call the fuel rats.
I don't think even Commander Tuckeroff could make it that far in. Right. Well, I think we'll leave that squidginess alone, and we'll just quickly do the shout-outs. So, our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, it broadcasts on the Thursday at 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, please check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. And if you could give the bug, which is annoying players for CQC, a vote, that would be appreciated. We're also giving shout-outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts. That would be the Guard Frequency, who do other space games as well. And we've also got the legendary Loose Screws, who are big fans of yellow cheese. Now, following this, we have the latest Galnet News Digest. I know Pete was saying he was feeling a bit woozy today. So we might have today's, or we might have last Friday's, but they're good anyway. So, yes. And we'd just like to say thanks to everybody who's chipped in the Twitch chat. And Chris, what in-game commanders have you had to deal with?
We've had a few. We've had William Solo. We've had Veron, I think is how I pronounce that one. Siberius and Kotsky, who have been in the station.
Excellent. Nice for you to keep Chris company when it's normally Ben who should be doing that. Special thanks to Commander Tokuso, Jay and Trax, and Alan Strad, who have all created music used on this show. But that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, then you can find all the content links in the home/contact us menu part of laveradio.com's website. So do let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So thanks to Commander Psychit.
Thanks, Colin.
Thanks to Commander Alec Turner, who I hope is still well.
I'm hanging in there. Thanks, Colin.
Excellent. And an incredibly special thanks goes to the Chris Mark IV for hosting and doing tech stuff and streaming in the background. Multitasking. Amazing stuff.
You're welcome.
Absolute legend.
Yes. Now, don't pay him too many compliments, otherwise it'll go to his head.
I switch it out throughout the week with compliment. It's like compliment. It's a shit sandwich all the time.
Yes, and we're back to the wonderful gooey stuff that we were talking about earlier. So until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. Need a safe word. Space can be done. I'm gonna see the galaxy.
No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Update, 30th of May 3309. One-time imperator and would-be imperial usurper Hadrian Duval has openly criticised the emperor for abandoning her isolationist principles. During an interview with the Parisa News Network, Emperor Arissa's cousin took exception to the way the emperor caved in to Princess Aisling Duval's demands that the empire should work with Aegis to fight off the Thargoid invasion. He explained that the Empire is better able to fight the Thargoids alone, without Aegis and its fancy enhanced multi-cannon missile racks, its enhanced Xeno scanner and its pulse neutralizer. Hadrian wants nothing to do with the new Pulsewave Xeno scanner either. It was better in the old days when you had to fight Thargoids in a Sidewinder with a couple of pulse lasers, and that's the sort of values he'd like to see the Empire getting back to. He accused the Emperor of being weak and speculated that the year she spent in suspended animation after being kidnapped by the Lords of Restoration had turned her soft, presumably after she had been defrosted, and Hadrian strongly implied that the Emperor was no longer fit to govern, saying that people deserve a strong, determined ruler. It's hard to tell what impact Hadrian's words will have, but he'd probably find it quite difficult to get life insurance after today's tirade. By complete contrast, Princess Aisling, once considered to be an airhead, has been getting on with the work of organising Aegis, working with her counterparts from Federation and Alliance, pulling diplomatic strings, learning strategy, and creating the impression that she might just be capable of leading the Empire in a time of war. Unlike Hadrian, Aisling knows not to challenge the Emperor openly.